Welcome back to Brands Hatch, Dunlop Production Touring Car Trophy, round 17, the last race of the weekend, and Kevin George, the man who finished 8th in race 1, starts on pole position with the reverse grid for race 3. His Astra having a bit of a problem, major tank slapper early on in the second race. Ryan Bensley, a little bit of damage after contact from Dan Malone's Seat. That has all been tidied up. He starts on the outside, the front row of the grid. Championship leader Adrian Churchill in 6th position, the red and yellow car number 1 on the 3rd row, just behind Rob Smith's BMW. So ready to go then, and let's see what this critical Brands Hatch meeting will produce. Another very good start from Churchill. Excellent getaway. Josh Cook in the dark blue McMillan tries to make a good start on the inside. Ryan Bensley in the black Astra going backwards fast as the BMW of Rob Smith leaps into the lead for the first time in a massive monster tank slapper from the pole man. How did they not hit him? Kevin George loops through the field into the gravel in retirement, and nobody even touched him. That's quite remarkable. Now then, Rob Smith with the lead, started the first race from the very back. When Adrian Churchill is right behind you, you know you've got a battle on your hands, and Churchill makes no mistake. Straight through he goes into the lead as they go through Surtees and into McLaren. Now out of clearways, he's got to hang on as the BMW picks up the traction. 3rd place is the man who has won race 2, Liam McMillan, and 4th, Josh Cook, 3rd in the championship. This is a bad start to the race for Gary Duttman. Yellow flags and safety car board are out because of Kevin George's abandoned car. There's Gary Duttman in 5th place, needs to make some progress after the safety car. Oh, goodness me, Kevin George, what a mistake to make, but how did he get away with that? And there is drama. Ryan Bensley back in the pit lane, another bit of contact on the back of his car. He needs to have a search in the bumper. He's clearly got magnets there that attract his rivals. Safety car waiting to pick up the leader, and that will be again Adrian Churchill, car number 1. Well, Churchill weaving to try and keep some heat in the tyres. Rob Smith, 2nd place in the BMW. 3rd place, the other yellow and red car, that's the Seat Leon of Liam McMillan. Well, on board with Josh Cook into the first corner. And there's number 8 right in front. Now, he gets sideways in paddock, cold tyres. It looks under control. Oh my goodness me! That was dramatic. Well, on board with Kevin George. He's being out-dragged by Rob Smith from row 2, turns into the first corner. A little bit of rubbing there with Churchill, but it's just the rear end that gets away. And once that pendulum starts, oh, not a great view, but not a scratch on the car. Well, not a great way to end your race, but it could have been significantly worse, and he's out of the gravel trap as well. He's going to try and shake some of that off before he goes round. He's going to have to rejoin at the tail of the field. Safety car is in, and they are racing once more. Car number 1, Adrian Churchill, leads them away. The BMW of Rob Smith, white and green machine in 2nd place. 3rd, the other yellow and red car. That's Liam McMillan, who started in 8th place on the grid. Josh Cook is in 4th place. Cook needs to get in front of all the cars in front of him to try and close down the championship gap, as does the man in 5th, the pale blue and yellow Seat Leon of Gary Duttman. But at the moment, Adrian Churchill making his escape as car number 3, Rob Smith in the BMW, hangs on to 2nd place. And as he does so, he's holding up the guys behind. We're on board with Cook. McMillan's looking one way, and as Cook tried to avoid the spinning Kevin George on lap 1, McMillan somehow came around his left-hand side, avoiding the accident and picking up 2 places in his charge from 8th position on the grid to 3rd place by the 2nd corner. That's a dynamic start from Liam McMillan. Don't know what he's done at Brands Hatch before, but if this isn't now his favourite circuit, I want to know what he needs to make it that way. He's looking for 2nd around the outside of Rob Smith. Smith gives him room to survive, but doesn't give him too much. He now has to close the door on Josh Cook. Cook's up the inside for 3rd. He gets his blue McMillan in there. McMillan drifts out wide, so McMillan down to 4th, maybe 5th. Josh Cook looks inside now into Graham Hill Bend. Oh, not quite. Has he got an overlap? It's starting, he's coming. Yes, he has. He's got the traction and goes through. Well, Rob Smith in the BMW, it's only his third meeting of the season, still working on development of that car, but at the sharp end in this race, and looking very feisty in race 2 as well. Gary Duckman there, as we ride on board with him, still in 5th place, did not get by the wide Seat Leon of Liam McMillan. McMillan's right in front of him. Duckman goes up high, trying to take the racing line for Paddock Hill Bend. Here McMillan turns in car number 4. He's taking a tighter exit line. He's looking up the inside of Druids. Smith sees him coming, shuts that door. That allows Duckman to close right up in his Seat Leon. BMW is definitely getting more competitive, but he's having to work hard for it. It's not coming easy, is it? Doing a good job though, Rob Smith. Liam McMillan right behind him, and Gary Duckman. Both Seats have been looking quite quick this weekend. McMillan's had the choice results, second in race 1, first in race 2, but then dropped to 8th place on the grid. Gave away a bit of a position at the restart as well. He's now stuck behind the BMW, but he has to find a way through. Adrian Churchill leads, Josh Cook in 2nd place. This is the battle for 3rd. 3 cars in it at the moment. The grey car coming up behind, that's Ryan Bensley. He's looking to join in as up the inside goes McMillan. That's a great move up to Druids. Liam McMillan has really got this circuit worked out. And up the inside as well, Gary Duckman, but he's going to be on the outside at Graham Hill Bend. And the BMW comes back through. He just couldn't cling on then. That's not Ryan Bensley, is it? He's been in the pit lane. That's Joe Girling on the back of this group now. And there, car number 5. Gary Duckman clinging on, looking up the inside into clearways. BMW just drifted a little wide between Surtees and McLaren, and through goes the Seat up into 4th place, Gary Duckman. Rob Smith closes the door then on Joe Girling in his grey Vauxhall Astra. As they turn into Paddock Hill Bend, Gary Duckman's Seat under pressure from the BMW. BMW's carrying good speed into the corners. On board, meanwhile, with Josh Cook. This is the lead battle right in front. Points leader, reigning champion, and race leader Adrian Churchill, and Cook's up the inside. Well, the McGann has looked so strong again this weekend. Disappointment in both races not to be able to run away in race 2. Mechanical problems stopped him from doing so when he was comfortably in the lead, but he's rubbed his way through past Adrian Churchill. Now he's got to get it under control here and try and open up just a tiny bit of breathing space onto the straight so Churchill can't slipstream back by him. It's quite a short straight here at Brands Hatch, even in these cars. Imagine what it was like in 1,500 horsepower Formula 1 turbo cars, over in the blink of an eye, but it's such a driver's challenge. The shorter Indy circuit really lends itself to production touring car racing. Oh, and that's a big off, and that is Rob Smith and Joe Girling. Both cars steaming heavily. Girling's come back off the barriers there. He's gone straight on at Paddock, and he looks pretty winded from the belts. 3-way battle for 2nd place, and McMillan goes through. Gary Duckman goes through into 3rd, and what's happened to Adrian Churchill? He has slumped to 4th position, but I imagine there will be a red flag at the start line, and this lap won't count. Well, Rob Smith is still in his car. You can see even the side window's broken. Red flags are out, but had they started another lap, had Josh Cook started another lap, well, on board with Rob Smith, up to Paddock Hill Bend, turns in, gets a massive thump from Joe Girling, and it all goes noisy. Well, both drivers okay, on board with Girling, BMW in front. Oh, loses it, and so unfortunate. Yikes, that's a big impact. No wonder he was winded. Dan Malone right behind. Watch how this transpires. Again, Girling's car bouncing around under braking. Malone stays well out of that one. Well, both drivers out, both drivers okay. Testament to the extreme strength of the cars. And Josh Cook did end up with the win, but Adrian Churchill was handed 2nd place on the countback at the end of the last completed lap. Well, it was a dramatic end to a dramatic Brands Hatch weekend.
I had a quite difficult start with the spin by Kevin George, but yeah, managed to keep out of the wall alongside him. So yeah, it's a pretty good race, but pretty difficult.
Adrian, second position, some more championship points. You must be pleased with that.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I knew this wasn't going to be our strongest circuit. You know, we're struggling a bit with the Seats, and Josh in the Renault's been going really well. So, you know, really, we just wanted to come back here, come away from here with as good a points advantage as we could, and we've done that. So, yeah, pleased.
From 8th for the grid, it's not bad. Shame we went back a lap because it would have been second. But yeah, it's a good race.
Obviously, carrying a lot of success ballast. Did that hold you up in the first sort of sector of the race?
Yes, especially to get hard past the BMW. He made it a very wide car, and with the ballast as well, it was hard to overtake.
Well, he made it look easy, didn't he? Brands Hatch was definitely Liam McMillan's weekend, but Churchill heads to Croft and the final 3 races with a 20-point advantage. He is going to be tough to catch.